Alright boys, my name is Spinky and this is Rust. Today we're going to be doing some building because all my other ideas seem to get 0 views. I'm just going to leave this here real quick. If you do decide to watch it, that would be kind of good. Right now we're looking at a trio quad base that comes equipped with a nice open core. It's defendable from multiple angles, plus we've got a tidy shooting floor with roof peaks and 3 pixel gap gatehouses to store all your valuables in the night. We've definitely tailored this base towards an online raid, and the amount of boxes inside suggests this base is for absolute beamers or ruthless farm bots. Also, remember to sub if you're sound, especially if you're a female, because if we hit 5% viewership, I promise I'm going to stop saying alright boys. Finally, the sexy Discord is linked down below where you guys can get help with building from a selection of confident builders, or you can just join if you want to chat. And since you boys seem to get a little bit bamboozled with the whole building the base in the middle of launch site, I decided to recommend a few other monuments where this base could work. This base of course features an open core. Let's jump onto the video. Before we get on with the tour, I'm going to quickly show you guys the build costs for this one. On screen now is how much it's going to cost to build the entire base. This includes all the compound and deployables, everything that you'll see later on. Then second up, we broke it down into box amounts just so you guys can visualize exactly how much materials you need to farm for this one. And finally on screen we have the total upkeep that's going to be spread between 3 external TCs and your main TC inside the base. Now we're going to go ahead and jump onto the tour. We start off with the gatehouse, and we've got 3 of those, and they're all pixel gapped just to beef up the raid cost. You can fit up to 4 boxes down here, but just do 2. These loot rooms can either be upgraded to metal to make them stronger, or you can leave them as stone and then hopefully people won't even notice. We've got a single and a double door to create a nice airlock, and then we've spammed some boxes around the place to drop off loot. Through the hallway of garage doors we've got bags and furnaces, and we eventually lead through to our TC room. The second floor is the main attraction of the base where we have our nice open core. The open core is guarded by 4 turrets and it also has a complete mix of peek downs that you can use. And there's optional garage doors that you can add to make the base a little bit stronger. The core also uses the abuser turrets that I got from Siege, and the great thing about these is that the ramp needs to be broken before the turrets can be attacked. Each of the 3 bedrooms have got a ladder hatch up to the roof, a couple of boxes, and a peek down inside the open core. The shooting floor consists of Widegapped peaks all the way around, which means they cannot be laddered into or pushed inside. Then we've got a roof peak up, and there are 3 of these in total. Nice and easy to get on top and shoot any raiders on your roof. The turret ramp can also be used as a peek down if you haven't got the turrets yet. Heading up to the top of the base we have 3 turrets that cover the roof perfectly, along with 3 airlocks that let us outside onto our roof. Lastly, on each side of the base we have some ramps that allow you to get down and outside your compound as quickly as possible. Sirens have been placed as anti-grief mechanisms to stop these being used against you. This allows you to quickly loot bodies after a spot of roof camping. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the base tour. Stick around if you want to see how to build it. Onto the building portion of the video, we're going to start off with the footprint as we usually do. Keep in mind that this is how much space you're going to need to build the base, and you'll need even more room to build the external TCs. Take a screenshot if you need, and let's get on with the build. Alright, let's kick off the starter base with a square, and we're going to add a triangle to it with some walls and some door frames. The start base can go anywhere from as small as this to the entire first floor, just depends how many mats you have to build when you start out. Then we're going to throw down our TC and make sure that we lock it because this base has got some overlapping TCs that we want to take advantage of. Then we're going to expand this square and triangle into an egg footprint. For just now I'm going to be building in stone. You can actually upgrade this base at any point in the build because all the walls and floors stay accessible throughout the base design. Next up we're going to build a jump up in the center of our egg shape, and that's going to be accompanied by a double door frame. Then we can build our front door and surround the rest of the bottom floor in walls. Add in this wall here for a little bit of extra honeycombing on the TC, and then we'll build our airlock very quickly. We've got 2 window frames and a double door as our airlock. Then you can spam some door frames around the rest of the base. Once you've gotten that, we're going to slap a roof on top of the entire first floor. The center triangle, you can leave that stone or wood, it just depends what you can be bothered to soft side out. Next we're going to expand the footprint a little bit more by placing a square off of each square. Then we're going to fill them in like honeycombing, except we're going to have a half height floor that we'll later on use for boxes. Then the entire second floor can also get surrounded in walls. Next we're going to place down all the frames that go inside the open core. And finally the shelves that go on the triangles all the way around. Add a double set of triangles on each of the 2 squares, missing out your airlock. These little shelves are going to be used for boxes later on. Then you can add a ceiling over this base and leave out your airlock square for a ladder hatch. In the center we're going to be building peak down, so keep that in mind. Start off by placing low walls on each of the left hand sides of the triangles, and then we're going to place in half walls on the right hand sides. Next you can surround the bedrooms in full walls. And then we can add a ceiling over our open core. Next we're going to start working on the bedrooms a little bit more, placing our door frames on the left of the bedroom and a wall on the right hand side. We can also add in 3 door frames that are going to exit out to our shooting floor. Each bedroom also has a shelf inside to place in a couple of boxes. Opposite the shelf we need to leave the triangle open because we're going to place a ladder hatch up to the roof. Then you can start adding in some walls for your shooting floor. Don't forget to place in a couple of ramps that we're going to use later on as turret peak downs. And then we can secure the bedrooms. These extra half wall slots are going to be used for ladder hatches. Next we're going to start expanding the footprint a little bit more so we can build our shooting floor. Place a triangle coming off of each of the 3 squares that go around the base. Then in between those triangles you've just placed, we're going to start working on our wide gaps. Build away using triangles until you get this shape, and then we're going to be wide gapping using the 2 square method. Once you've done that, build back in the exact same way that you built in, and you should see that those 2 triangles are a lot further away than they last were. Then before we build the rest of the wide gapping, we're going to create our gatehouse because you won't be able to place these squares afterwards. Then we're going to connect the start of our gatehouse back to the triangles using a frame. As you already know, the gatehouses are all pixel gapped, so we're going to do that now. The only way this can go wrong is if you place that square incorrectly, so just make sure you pull it back towards your feet. Then you can surround those 2 squares in half walls and upgrade them. And then we're going to place our boxes inside, lock them, and ensure all of our teammates get the code. And then just cover those over with some floors, making sure that we place them to the opposite side half walls. If you've done that correctly, you should have a pixel gap that you can see your boxes through and access them. Then quickly just build a gatehouse on top. Next we're going to raise up some frames all the way along the triangles that we placed, making sure that we do some walls for where our turret's going to go. And then we can throw down the wide gapping frames as well, placing a couple of extras in the middle just to make sure our shooting floor stays alive. Before we do any more building, we need to make sure we connect all of this to an external TC. I'm going to be using the triangle version of Minisatori's TC. I'll have the main one linked down below, however there's not a tutorial for this one right now. Ensure that you place 2 half walls just like I did, or else you'll break the TC. Apart from that, there's not really anywhere else that this can go wrong, it's super easy to follow. These extra foundations are completely useless, they're just to help you get up. Once your TC is built, connect it with the frames and I'll show you guys how to disconnect it. And once you've got 3 gatehouses, you can connect them all up with some high walls. After that, throw down some large furnaces in your compound. Next we're going to go back to working on the shooting floor. Don't forget to close in your turret pods and place the turret inside, peeking down into the open core. There's a few options for the floor placement on this one, but I've opted for some smaller gaps with ones on the extra sides. Then we can surround the perimeter of our shooting floor in window frames. Upgrade those window frames and throw on some embrasures. Then we're going to build the roof peak ups that go on top of our core. Start by placing 3 window frames around the center of the base. We're going to place some extra boxes inside the honeycombing to hide some loot in the shooting floor to help you defend. These can also be used as depot boxes if you're arriving by minicopter. And then once those are placed in, you can just close them over and you can access those by the siren light. To make it harder for raiders to shoot at you inside your peak down, we're going to place a horizontal embrasure, and then just replicate that all the way around. Then just add some frames and half walls around our roof peak up to enclose them. And then the rest of the shooting floor can get a roof as well. We're just going to match it as we did below, having the same gaps. Then we're going to build 3 little airlocks on top of our roof. This is just to make it harder for raiders to keep you inside your base. And once you've done that, we're going to surround the entire base in roof slants. These are a lot easier if you go inside the shooting floor and place them from underneath. We're going to be using triangle roof ramps, and that's all we use. And if you place them all correctly, you should have a nice flower shape going all the way around your base. After that, we're going to place 2 sets of frames on top of the roof peak up, and these are going to be used for our windmills. Halfway up the windmill tower, we can also place in a triangle for a turret to cover the roof. Once your towers are built, just place on your windmills and connect them to some large batteries. And once you've done that, that completes the base design. Keep in mind that you can upgrade any of the base at any point. Everything is accessible all the way through. If you guys did enjoy this one, please feel free to leave a like and drop me a sub if you can. It would help me out a ton. Really hope to see this base design out there on some servers. Remember to check out Bandit Camp and use my code below. And I'll see you boys in the next one.